Hello, students. Welcome back to the next session of Mathematics 2 for second semester students, continuing the same topic here again of the previous session. Here, I will solve about one problem from your model question paper, so as to just conclude with that same topic, and then we'll move on to the variation of parameters method. Okay, so let's go for that problem. Everyone, just follow each and every step throughout the problem with me. Okay, here is one problem for you. It is from your model question paper. D cube plus d square minus 4d minus 4 of y is equals to 3 times e to the power minus x minus 4x minus 6. I hope it is seen clearly there. Okay. Now, we'll start with the solution of this problem. Then we'll move on to variation of parameters in this video. Okay. So, here is your differential equation. So, to start with the solution, what you all do usually? Yes, you take the bracket. It has already been given in the standard form. Just take the bracket, okay, and write your auxiliary equation. So, what will be your auxiliary equation? So, it will be m cube plus m square minus 4m minus 4 is equals to 0. Is equals to 0. Is it? Okay. Then let us work for the roots of this equation. Okay. So you can take m square common from the first two terms. M square common. M plus 1 in the bracket. Minus, you can take 4 common from the next two terms. Again m plus 1 in the bracket equated to 0. Again you can take m plus 1 common. Then m square minus 4 is equals to 0. So directly I can write the roots now. M is equal to minus 1 from the first bracket. Second bracket you have m square minus 4 is equal to 0. Or you can write m square is equals to 4. Or m is equals to plus or minus 2. Plus or minus 2. Okay. So let us write collecting all the roots. So m is taking the values minus 1, minus 2 and 2. Is it? Okay. Now let us move on to yc, the complementary function of this problem. So what should be the complementary function? It should be, yes, all the roots are real and they all are distinct. Okay. So follow the rule of real and distinct roots for writing yc. So it will be c1 into e to the power first root into x. What is that first root? It is minus 1, so it becomes minus x. Plus, take another constant c2, e to the power, the second root which you have, it is minus 2 into x. Plus, you take another constant c3, e to the power, the final, the last root, that is 2x. So, this is your yc. Now, let us work for yp. So, I have explained it a number of times how to write your yp. Once again, take the given equation and separate your y from there. So your y should be written as yp, that is you are working for particular integral pi. Okay. So your particular integral pi represented as yp will be equal to 3 times e to the power minus x minus 4x minus 6 over the denominator part, which is d cube plus d square minus 4d minus 4. This is what you get for yp. Okay. Now since there are 3 terms in the numerator and that too one is exponential term, as you see it is e to the power minus x over here. It is 4x minus 6. You can treat that as a polynomial. Means it's a combination of 2 types. So for that what we will do, we'll separate as per our rules to solve. Okay. Now see, we'll separate for e to the power. So I can write the same yp as 3 into e to the power minus x divided by the same denominator, d cube plus d square minus 4d, sorry. So minus 4d minus 4 minus, I'll take minus sign outside, it becomes 4x plus 6c. You can take minus sign common from these two terms. that is these two terms. You can take minus sign common. So you will have minus sign common, take it outside, it becomes minus, then divide with the same denominator, that is d cube plus d square minus 4d minus 4. Is it? Now since there are two terms in our yp, I will treat this as p1, or I will consider this as p1 and this as p2. So let p1 be equal to 3 into e to power minus x divided by d cube plus d square minus 4d minus 4. Is it? Now, if you see this equation, what do you think? Is it not of type 1 PI, type 1 integral, where you have e to power ax in the numerator? Yes. And denominator a function of d. Okay. So how do you solve this type of equations? You all have learned this already in my previous classes. Yes. What you do? You replace. Yes. What you do? You replace every d in the denominator by the quotient of x in the numerator. So to solve this, what you do? You replace d by a. So the value for a here is d must be replaced by minus 1. But if you put d is equal to minus 1, look at that, you have minus 1 as the root of the auxiliary equation also. This topic I have also cleared in my class. Okay. You just observe your roots and observe the quotients while solving for yp. Just see the value for, especially for exponential terms. If exponential yp, whenever you have e to power ax on the right hand side in place of phi of x, I always told this in my class, check out about the quotient of x over there. Since here it is minus 1 and minus 1 is also the root of the auxiliary equation over here. Okay. And whenever this happens, what will happen? The denominator of this yp or p1, whatever we are considering, it turns to 0. Okay. So when that is happening, again you will have learnt already what rule should be applied to solve. Okay. To solve this type of problems. Okay. So whenever you turn d to minus 1, however I will show you here, it is 1 plus 1 you get. If you put d is equal to minus 1 the whole cube plus minus 1 square, minus 1 whole cube is minus 1. For instance, let us solve it. Minus 1 whole cube plus minus 1 square minus 4 times minus 1 minus 4. So if you simplify this, it will be minus 1 plus 4 minus 4. See, everything is getting cancelled. So it becomes 0. So the denominator is, means what? If you substitute d is equal to 1 over here in the denominator dr is turning 0. Okay. So when this is happening, I have explained you what to do. Okay. So we'll go for that step. Okay. So as already been explained, so you have denominator dr turning 0 when you put d is equal to minus 1 in the denominator. So for that, we have to apply our rule. Yes, what is that rule? Yes, you write one x in the numerator into 3 into e to power minus x divided by, what you have to do in the denominator? You have to differentiate the denominator with respect to d. So if you do so, what do you get? Derivative of d cube with respect to d, 3d square, plus derivative of d square with respect to d, 2d, minus derivative of 4d with respect to d, it will be simply 4. Finally, the derivative of minus 4 with respect to d, it will be 0 because it is constant. So now again this will be, I will take that 3, it is constant. So it will become 3 into x e to power minus x divided by 3d square plus 2d minus 4. So make a note, I am writing that x aside. Okay, just to avoid that x is not, means this denominator is not going to operate on that x again. Okay, so you have x, 3x. Now again you are going to apply that rule, that is replacing d by minus 1. Okay, let us apply that rule again now. So if you put d as minus 1, it will be 3 into minus 1 square, because value for again a, the quotient of x is minus 1 over here. So it will be, we are replacing every d by a. So it will be minus 1 square plus 2 into minus 1 minus 4. Further, when you simplify this, it will be 3x into e to power minus x divided by, yes, 3 minus 1 square is plus 1, 3 minus 2 plus 1 minus 4 minus 3 you get c, right? Just see, minus 1 square is plus 1, so it becomes only 3 here, but there is a plus sign and minus sign over here, so it will be minus 2. 3 minus 2 is plus 1 plus 1 minus 4 is minus 3. Now this 3 over here and this 3 over here gets cancelled. You can take that x to the numerator. So you can have the value for P1 as minus, yes, you can have the value for P1 as, so I'll write it over here. Your P1 is minus x into e to power minus x. So this is the value for P1. Okay, I hope it is seen there. 1 minute. Is it seen? Yes. It is minus x into e to power minus x. That's the value for P1. Okay. So now we'll go for P2. Let us evaluate this. Okay. So we were to solve our P2. So your P2 was 4x plus 6 divided by d cube plus d square minus 4d minus 4. Now already I have explained how to solve whenever there is a polynomial in the numerator. How do you solve this kind of a problem? I have already explained. So what do? You write the numerator in the descending power of x. Previous session we have already learnt it. You write the numerator in the descending powers of x and write the denominator in the ascending powers of d. So let us do that same thing here. So it is 4x plus 6 divided by minus 4 minus 4d, because there is no d here. Here there is d, here there is d square. Finally plus d cube. So you are going to do it this way. Now let us go by division process. 4x plus 6 divided throughout by minus 4 minus 4d plus d square plus d cube. Now there is only 4 over here, right? Sorry, minus 4 over here and 4x over here. So I should multiply something with minus 4 so as to get 4x. I should multiply something with minus 4 so as to get plus 4x. What should be that term? Obviously minus x. If you multiply, minus x into minus 4 becomes plus 4x. So we need to multiply minus x to minus 4 to get minus 4 plus 4x. Okay, so just multiply this now. Minus 4 into minus x becomes plus 4x. Minus 4 into, it is what? Yes, what it is? It is minus 4 times d of x minus x it is, right? It is minus 4 times d of, I shall do it here, please concentrate everyone. It is minus 4 times d of minus x. Derivative of minus x is minus 1. Minus 1, it becomes minus 1 like this. So it will be plus 4. Is it not? It results in plus 4. That is, if you multiply this term with this, you will get plus 4 over here. Okay. Now, for next term, you have to multiply d square with minus x. So it is d square of minus x. Obviously, you can take first derivative of minus x. Minus x first derivative will be minus 1. Second derivative, if you want to take, it will be 0. Right? Similarly, if you multiply d cube with minus x, the third derivative of minus x will again be 0. So need not write this multiplication for d square and d cube with this minus x over here. Okay. However, they are zeros, so we need not write that. Okay. So we'll simply add, so change the signs and add, so you get 0 here. I mean, they both get cancelled and 6 minus 4 becomes 2. Okay. Now next is, you have to multiply something. Look at this, you have got 2 over here. Now I have to multiply minus 4 with a term so as to get 2 over here. So what should be that term? It will be minus half. Is it not? Is it not minus half? Minus half into minus 4 results you what? What is minus 4 into minus half? Minus into minus plus, so you get 2. Okay, so just multiply. Minus 4 into minus half results you 2. Next, minus 4 times derivative of half is 0. Second derivative of half is also 0. Third derivative of half is already 0. So need not do anything. Simply add, change the sign, cancel this, it becomes 0. So what should be your YP? The YP term is just written here on the top. Okay, so your P2 value you have found. Okay, so now let us substitute all those values in our P1 and P2 for our YP and then simplify it further. Okay, yes, see here students, this was your P1, this was your P1 minus P2. Okay, so P1 value I had written it already, so it is minus x into e to power minus x, and P2 value is minus of, what is that value? it is minus x minus half. Okay, so your yp is, let us simplify it further. Yp is minus x into e to power minus x, take this minus sign common, plus x plus half. This is the value for yp. Yc we had already solved. Yc was something like c1 e to power minus x plus c2 into e to power minus 2x plus c3 into e to power minus plus 2x. This was your yc. So the general solution, I'll continue it here only. Your general solution was yc plus yp. So I think you can do it yourself. So diy here. Just substitute the value for yc and yp and rewrite your answer again. Okay. So this completes my problem from the model question paper. I have brought for you about 2 more problems from the model question paper of the same type. Okay. You can try out that on your own. If you have any doubts, please do ask me in my WhatsApp group. Okay. So you can solve these 2 problems on your own from the model question paper. I have selected these problems for you. Practice these at home. Okay. Here is first problem. D cube plus 8 of y is equals to x to the power 4 plus 2x plus 1. So solve this at home. Second problem of the same type. You can try out this also. D square minus 4d plus 4 of y is equals to e to power 2x plus sin x. Okay. So just simplify for your practice. I am giving these 2 problems for you. Practice it well. If you have any doubts, please let me know in my WhatsApp group and I'll clarify it through your solution there itself. Okay. So now we'll start with another type of solutions wherein that is called variation of parameters. Again we'll be working with second order linear differential equations over there. Okay, I'll let you know what are variation of parameters and what method you should follow to get with the solution. Okay, so here yes, let's start with another method of solving a non-homogeneous differential equation. That method is called variation of parameters. Okay, so now let us understand what method it is and to what type of equations it is applicable. Okay, so this method is only applicable to the equation of the form like this. This method is applicable to the equations of the form a naught y double dash plus a1 y dash plus a2y is equals to phi of x. That is, clearly you can see that I have written a second order linear differential equation. Okay, so you given with any second order linear differential equation, you can solve by some other method. Previous method, what it was called the direct method, or it is also called the inverse differential operator method. You can solve any order of differential equation, any order of linear differential equation there. Order was not a problem when it comes to the direct method of solving the differential equations. When it comes to variation of parameters, you need to be careful. This method is only applicable for second order linear differential equations. So please take care about that. Okay. So this method is only applicable for this type of equations wherein you have a second order linear differential equation. Okay. So let's see what this method say. Okay. So here, suppose what we do, normally when I give this equation to you, suppose I have given some standard equation and as an example. So normally you work for yc, is it not? You consider the auxiliary equation, then you write, is it? So if you start with the auxiliary equation, obviously you write the auxiliary equation to be something like a naught m square plus a1 m plus a2 is equals to 0. You work for the roots of this auxiliary equation. So roots can be real. Yes, you may have 2 roots, right? So say it is m1 and say it is m2. Okay, m is taking certain values, say m1 and m2. Okay, so after getting this m1 and m2, what you do? You go for writing the complementary function yc, and that yc you write it as, depending on the roots, if they are real, you write using 2 constants with the exponential terms, you write it. Then if the roots are equal, then if they are real and distinct, you write c1 into e to power m1 into x plus c2 into e to power m2 into x. If the roots are real and equal, you write something like this. Okay, and if the roots are imaginary, you write e to the power some, you take, suppose m is alpha plus or minus I beta. I have already explained it. So alpha into x, c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. Okay, so this is what you do with yc. Okay, here comes the change. Okay, so here what we do for this variation of parameters, we won't take this solution for yc as yc, we take it as y only. And in place of c1 and c2, the arbitrary constants here, whatever we have written, depending on various values of m1 and m2, we do write same type of solution, but we don't use the arbitrary constant c1 and c2 here. We don't use the arbitrary constants c1 and c2. In place of them, we use arbitrary functions of x. Okay, so for example, if the roots are real and distinct, I'm going to use y, I'm going to say my solution y as a of x into e to the power m1 into x plus b of x into e to the power m2 into x. Okay, so let me make a partition. Okay, so this is going to be my new type. How, see, in place of c1 and c2, those were the arbitrary constants, but here I am not going to use arbitrary constants. Repeatedly I am saying I am going to use what? The arbitrary functions of x. Now here our whole motive will be to work for this arbitrary functions a1 of x, a of x and b of x. How do we work for them? That is one more important point. Okay, so let me again tell you one more. So this is also the functions of x, this is also the function of x. So what we can say, this as y1, this as y2. Okay, so see, I can write my general solution. So y as a of x into some y1 plus b of x into some y2. Okay, so here I can say my y1 to be e to the power m1 of x, m1 into x, and y2 to be e to the power m2 of x, provided if I am considering this type of solution. If it is this type of solution, my y1 will be same, y2 will be x into e to the power mx. Okay, like that. Similarly, if I am considering this type of solution, it will be alpha into cos beta x as y1, then y2 will be e to the power alpha x into sin beta x. Okay, like that. I hope that point is clear to you. Okay, so in place of these functions, e to the power m1x, m2x, e to the power mx, e to the power alpha x cos beta x, e to the power alpha x sin beta x, I am using y1 and y2. Okay, in general. So we consider this y1 and y2 and work for the Rankine w. We work for the Rankine w. What is that w? That Rankine, this spelling is like this, Rankine w. That w is given by determinant of y1, y2, y1 dash, y2 dash. Okay, so we work for the Rankine w. Okay, once we work for this, we directly evaluate the value for a as a of x, you can take, or a as integration minus y2, integration minus y2 phi of x divided by w dx. Okay, we are going to use the formula for a as like this. Similarly, b will be integration of y1 phi of x divided by w dx. Okay, divided by w dx. This is how we work. Okay, so once we get the values for a and b using these formulae, we substitute that in our solution over here, that is this or this, whichever it is. In general I have used this, so we'll substitute it back here. Okay, this is variation of parameters. Let me explain it once again to you. So what is it? The variation of parameters method, what we do here, this method is only applicable to a second order linear differential equation like this. This is a second order linear differential equation. Okay, you can call this as 1. Okay, next, obviously we write the auxiliary equation for this something like this. Roots will be obviously 2. Okay, if it is a second order linear differential equation. Okay, so if it is third order, you will have 3 roots in the auxiliary equation. That idea at least you have by now. Okay, so since it is a second order linear differential equation, the roots will be only 2, and depending on the nature, we write the format like this. The solution for that equation will be something like this, right? So no matter what are the nature of the roots, I can consider the one which is coming with c1 as y1, the one which is coming with c2 as y2. Okay, that I can do. And apart from that, instead of c1 and c2, this is one more important point, instead of arbitrary constants c1 and c2, I will use some arbitrary functions a of x and b of x like this over here. Okay, not only for the first type, you can go for it for second, no matter, depends on the nature. When it comes to problem, you will clearly understand. Okay, the roots can be real or distinct, real or equal or imaginary roots. Obviously you will be using two constants there, c1 and c2, and in place of those arbitrary constants I am going to use arbitrary functions a and b. Okay, and associated with those c1 and c2 there will be certain functions of x that here you just see e to power m1 into x, e to power m2 into x. They are associated with c1 and c2 or no? Similarly here, what is associated with c1? E to power mx. And what is associated with c2? It is x into e to power mx. Similarly, what is associated with c1 here? E to power alpha x, e to power alpha x cos beta x. What is associated with c2 here? E to power alpha x sin beta x. Is it not? So these are all the functions of x. Okay, so I am calling those individuals which are associated with c1 and c2 as y1 and y2. Okay, in short. Okay, so a of x and b of x are being used in place of the arbitrary constants like this. Then to evaluate this, what we do, we evaluate this w first. And what is that w? It is called Rankine, W-R-O-N-K-I-A-N, Rankine. Okay, w is equals to the determinant of y1, y2, y1 dash, y2 dash. Okay, the first row is simple, the y1 and y2. Second row, they consist of the derivatives, or you can simply write it as y1, y2 dash minus y1 dash y2. You can take it like this also, this way. Okay, so this is a slight explanation. Okay, and after getting Rankine, you use the formulas for a and b which are given here. Okay, you need to memorize here the Rankine, the value for a and the value for b, and that is enough for you. You can easily work with the problems because this at least is a background. You already know it till here. Okay, after this there is a slight change, that is this and the Rankine and the value for a and the value for b. The problems on this I'll continue in my next session. Thank you.